guys and girls. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, good holidays. Thought I'd do a real quick. It's been kind of top of my mind since I kind of last minute quote decided to do a half Ironman out in California. The opportunity came up to incorporate it with a business trip, so I kind of pieced it together. I've been doing half Ironman since about 2008. I traveled to a couple and had mediocre success, but overall I've been kind of hesitant on kind of flying with a bike and getting there and doing everything, and kind of wanted to share a few tips and kind of ideas that I had, some mistakes that I made, that going through the motions I kind of know better now. My top three kind of tips, especially I traveled from Kansas to California, and while I was in California I had to go to three different places. I had to go to Indian Wells, which is where the race was at. Afterwards I needed to be in LA for some work stuff. Then I needed to go fly out to Oakland for some more work stuff, and then I went back to KC. So I was incorporating traveling with all my triathlon related gear and the race and everything that comes with it, in addition to having to do work, in addition to going to construction sites. I needed hard hats, vests, safety glasses, which luckily my race glasses that I used from Geist kind of helped out. I just wore them and nobody said anything, so it works out. I didn't have to pack extra. But anyway, I had a hard hat, I had work boots. I had to get all this other stuff in addition to all this race stuff with me to California. And had I not had the experience of traveling and doing these races for a good 14 years now, this might have been a huge daunting task that I would have never undertaken, and I wouldn't have had probably one of my better half Ironman races for 2018 out there in California with all the stress that gets added in there. So just want to kind of share a little bit about each one of these and give you guys an opportunity to jump into a course I'm going to put together over a couple weeks, probably like 4 weeks. Just be a once a week webinar and opportunity for people to sign up. We can get together. I can share kind of more detailed, help you get a plan together if you're looking at traveling to a race. And it's not only is training and racing and doing half Ironman or full Ironman kind of a daunting task, figuring out how to do the logistics is kind of its own little endurance effort in itself. So my tip number one, get yourself there. You need to figure out the logistics. I was flying different places. So, how are you going to get there? You're going to drive there? You're going to fly there? Are you going to the airport? Economy parking? You're going to take a shuttle? You're going to take an Uber to the airport? There are tons of logistics just to get yourself there. And actually get your physical body there. After you've done all the training and everything, you need to get yourself from A to B and do it as most efficient as possible so you're not dragging ass by the time you get there. Number two is get your gear there. So you got your bike, your helmet, you got all this large junk, wetsuit that's not conducive, especially for flying. You've got a lot of stuff that you're gonna have to figure out, in addition to, bike obviously you're gonna travel with, but you can't sit there and load up a bike box, with all this gear, or can you? It'll be kind of one of the things that I go over in the course, kind of a smart way to pack your gear so you can actually, I was able to get there and didn't do a single check bag. So that's kind of nice when you don't have to wait there for, stuff to come through the conveyors. You don't have to worry about, is my stuff getting crushed? Am I going to lose it? Am I going to lose my luggage? I'm going to lose all my race stuff. But, there's a lot of stuff. You get your wetsuit, your bike, your helmet, glasses, gear, just other stuff, just CO2 cartridges. You got all this stuff, and it's kind of a daunting task to make sure that it all gets there in one piece and with you. And then there's the on-site logistics. Like I said, I was going to several different locations. I was picking up a car in one spot, dropping it off in another, which was one of my mistakes. I went ahead and shipped my bike there with bike flights, So you need to make sure you have a vehicle large enough to fit a bike box in there. Or are you going to pick it up? Are you going to break down the box and take out the bike and do it in the parking lot and stick all your stuff in the car? I did that in the past. One of my learning adventures over Bulwer 70.3 in 2011. You know, got a little economy car, the cheapest one they had, got there and realized I had to take my bike out of the box in order to make everything fit. So I learned from that experience, but I also made a mistake on trying to get my car from one place to another place, because if you don't set it up right the first time, they'll charge you an ungodly fee to drop a car off someplace else. So you got to do that right. You got to make sure you have the right size car. So that was one of my mistakes. On the course, I'm going to go over. Make sure you have all this stuff thought out and planned out. So these are kind of big 3 points that you need to pay attention to when you're setting up your travel. Because if you're just trying to do all this at the last minute, especially if you're trying to get your gear there, if you're shipping your bike and you think about it the week before, you're getting to the point where you're going to be kind of hosed, where you have no option but to travel with it. And if you don't have a right bike box or shipping container of some sort, if you're going to take it with you on the flight because it's too late to use tri-bike transport or bike flights or something like that, you're running around, you're at the mercy of a bike shop that will charge you an ungodly fee, I'm sure, for a bike box or a bike bag. So don't get caught at the end stressing out trying to figure out how to do everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a free course. Like I said, it'll probably be over 4 or 5 weeks. It's going to meet once a week in the night. Probably 30, 45 minutes each. So we'll go over just different topics buried within these, because there's lots to go over, especially if you haven't really traveled much for endurance events. Running's nice. You just bring a pair of shoes, shorts, and a shirt. When you're doing triathlon, there's a lot of logistics you got to cover. Especially, I travel by myself. If you're going with family, you're going with kiddos, it becomes, two-fold, 10-fold, 5-fold, whatever. So check out stptry.com. That's my website. Still working on getting the relaunch going. If you're interested in the free training course on how to travel to an event and do it successfully and not have it be a stressing point to wear you out, email me at info@setthepacetriathlon.com. So if you send me an email there, I will send you a link to the form. You can fill out. I get your information. You're signed up. And I will send you a link for the zoom.us webinar. And then we will be meeting, like I said, once a week, probably in the evenings. Kind of works out better for most people. And if you sign up and you miss it, I'm going to send links to the replay and everything. But you have to be signed up for the course. I'm not posting this online. I am posting it for the members on my website later. But if you're not a member and you don't want to have to pay for it later, and you need this kind of information to help you get through your event, make sure you email me now, because otherwise you're out. So we're going to take applications for about a week or so. I'm going to get it set up and we're going to get fired up. So you got about 7 days to email me, info@setthepacetriathlon.com. And if you do that, I also send you my triathlon checklist, because that's going to be a big thing. My background is scheduling and engineering, and pretty much without a list, you don't know what you're doing, because you can't depend on your memory for everything. So I'll send you my triathlon checklist. I'm going to update it, especially after Indian Wells. What goes in the bike box? What goes with you? What can you pack on the plane? You can't take liquids to a certain size. What did I get away with taking that I didn't think I would, and I put it in my bag, just hoping, crossing my fingers, and it went through. So some stuff, if hey, I could buy it at a store when I get there, or an Ironman Village or something like that, I could pick it up. But there's some stuff that's very personalized to you, and if you don't know if you're going to be able to get it through security in an airport, you need to have that list. You're going to take it with you. You're going to pack it, or you're going to, maybe a little tip and secret is try to get as much in that bike box as possible. If it's going to fly, you can't put CO2 in there, but if it's going to ship on the ground, you can put a lot of stuff in there, as long as you make sure that you plan ahead with the weights and all that fun stuff. So anyway, back to the point, you get a list. If you send me an email here, you want to sign up for the course, put in the subject line, I want the travel training course. I want in for free, info@setthepacetriathlon.com. I'll send you a nice little checklist that I've used for my events in the past. Like I said, I'm going to update it for Indian Wells, so you'll get the latest and greatest. It'll include kind of my work stuff too, because I need to make sure all that stuff got there too, because hard hat, work boots, that takes up a lot of space. I had 2 bags. I had a carry-on, a personal item, and a bag I could fit in the overhead bin. Especially in a commuter flight, you need even a smaller bag to be able to compress to fit in that little bitty bin. They tried to check it, and I said it'll fit, and I jammed it in. So I made it with 2 bags and a bike box. So I made it to the event, did the event, shipped stuff back, flew to the other place, took all my stuff with me, because you don't want to make multiple flights, especially if you got connecting flights with a bike. You know, that's more opportunities for them to smash it, to lose it, to do something with it. So if you want to find out kind of my trip tips and secrets of the trade to travel for Ironman race, half Ironman race, or triathlon in general, again, email me info@setthepacetriathlon.com. Subject line, travel training course. I'll send you a list and I'll send you a link to the Zoom.us webinar. So check it out, email me. Talk to you later. Have a good new year.